What's up, guys? Welcome back to Black Star Anime, the anime community's voice of reason. I'm Cody.
And I'm Manny.
And you're watching Let's Talk Anime. This video of Let's Talk Anime, we're going to be talking about the good anime we're watching from the fall 2016 anime season.
Let's do this.
Kicking off our good list is Magical Girl Raising Project.
So, I've seen there's some comparisons plot-wise to Madoka Magica, and I can see some similarities.
I see similarities, but I definitely wouldn't consider them a similar anime to one another.
There's some similar tones, but that's about where it ends. Like, this is pretty unique on its own, and I actually like a lot of what they're doing.
Yeah.
You got some cool... Essentially, everybody in this world, they get their magical girl powers from a video game app.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some interesting powers. I actually like that they're being unique. There's a girl, her power... They look different, too. She's when she transforms into a magical girl, she looks like a ninja.
Mm-hmm.
And her power is shurikens that she hit 100%.
Yeah, one looks like a witch.
I'm like, this is cool. This actually looks different. You're doing different stuff with the powers. I like that.
I think what sets it apart is it's not like a different class of magical girl where it's like all of them look like magical girls, but each of them kind of have a different ability.
They all look different.
Yeah, they all look very different, and unless told otherwise, you wouldn't think they were all magical girls. You would just think they were magical users with very specific abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the uniqueness comes in with this show. Essentially, it's just coming down to a dark battle royale.
Yeah, the plot's getting darker and darker, so we'll see where that goes. I'm excited to see the ending.
Yeah.
How they resolve everything.
Mm-hmm.
So next on the list is Flip Flappers. This is another magical girl.
Mm-hmm.
A little differently, though. Mm-hmm. This has a medium, if you will. When our main characters transform to magical girls, they're in kind of another realm of existence. Mm-hmm. They don't just transform like in their standard setting. I like a lot of the style and the animation this show has. Like when they actually fight and do their magical stuff, the animation like jumps up significantly. Like it's really high quality fighting. Mm-hmm. And they're also doing cool stuff with their powers. I really, really enjoy that. It's not your standard regular magic girl throw magic and everything dies. Like they're doing actual fighting and overcoming obstacles. So it's really cool. I like that. And the characters are actually really likable.
Okay.
So
would you say that viewers of Flip Flappers and viewers of Raising Project go hand in hand? Or would these kind of go individual?
One art style wise, they're kind of for both audiences. Mm-hmm. Magical Girl Raising is more of a darker series where Flip Flappers focuses more on the friendship and the happiness theme that shoujo and Magic Girl anime tend to use a lot. So one's a little bit more lighter, one's a little bit more darker. Both have good action and good power usage, so I'm digging pretty much both of them.
Cool. Next on the list, we have All Out.
Yo.
This is a sports anime. You know how we feel about sports anime.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few sports anime this season.
There is.
This season's really stacked.
All Out is rugby.
I'm really digging their approach.
Yes.
To how they're doing it. They understand that a lot of people don't know the rules of rugby. Mm-hmm. And they're using our idiot main character to kind of teach us that, but at the same time, he's not so much of an idiot that he's not lovable. Like, I actually like the character a lot, even though he's the dimwit, stereotype.
Yeah. I mean, what's cool about him, based off what I was watching within it, is he's small. He's not the strongest on the team. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say he's a quick learner. He's quick to pick up on things, but he still requires practice.
He's clever.
He's a clever little dude, which, I mean, you would expect from a person of his size. But if anything, he just has that tenacity, that motivation to just, like, keep going forward no matter what. Which I mean, in a sports anime, whenever you have that strong main character, especially in a shonen type setting,
that drive.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't have that drive, you don't have much to engage the audience with.
Mm-hmm.
So I say All Out does have that. At the same time, though, I wouldn't say this is one of the stronger sports anime from this season, despite being on our good list.
I would agree, but there's like 8 sports anime.
This is true. Also,
this season, it's not at the top, but nonetheless, it's a pretty good execution and a great way to show rugby. So next on the list we have Tiger Mask W.
Is this one of the stronger sleepers this season?
I think a lot of people are actually sleeping on this show.
Okay.
If you watched wrestling at all, when it was WCW versus WWF, you will very much like this anime. Even if you watch it now, they execute this show so well with the way the wrestlers actually wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Double teaming moves, the way that they're telling the story that you actually see in real professional wrestling.
Okay.
It's really well executed. The only real difference between pro wrestling and this anime is that they're actually trying to hurt each other in this. Okay. Or it's not entertainment. In this, it's a real fight. And that actually just ups the ante more. These guys are actually training crazy hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting these ridiculous wrestler builds. Like, if you look at real wrestlers now, they have these physiques. You're like, how did you even make that?
Mm-hmm.
And you're watching these guys train to do that. I'm
this is how.
This is awesome, yeah. So it's very well executed. Great characters. You got a nice revenge story going.
Nice. Love it. Next up on the list is another sports anime, Keijo. Yo. This show's borderline too ridiculous.
This show is so outrageous that it keeps me watching.
That is true.
Like,
all right, so behind Keijo, Keijo is a new sport that's taken on the rave, and essentially what you have is a group of women in bathing suits, and they're fighting in the middle of like a pool or a body of water on top of a piece that they call the land, and they have to knock each other out using their boobs and their butts.
Those are the only 2 weapons.
And they have what's ridiculous about Keijo is like the main character, she goes to like this training academy. It's like a school, and you have other Keijo players, and they're all training there. And then they break down the Keijo, essentially the Keijo types. And mm-hmm. She's like a middle fighter or something crazy who uses like OP moves instead of a speed fighter. Yeah. And then they have a counterer. So it's so ridiculous. So you have these girls training, and you have that group dynamic that they're all helping each other to grow and become better Keijo players so they can eventually go pro, but at the same time, sometimes they have to spar each other or spar other mm-hmm. classmates, and it's just well done. And it's very engaging. It's very entertaining.
I'm actually really surprised. The ecchi in this show is through the roof, but at the same time, they make it relevant.
Yes. The ecchi is relevant in this, and for a viewer like myself who doesn't want to see the balloon boobs, who doesn't want to see the ridiculous butts in anime, and those 2 things are literally the weapons in the show, I'm like, yes!
It's incredibly executed.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say more than that. They keep me on my toes with the new powers that they keep bringing out. Each character has a specialized technique that's built for their type of fighting style.
But then they train to get stronger.
And I'm like, this...
They put dumbbells between their cheeks and doing squats just to get... It's ridiculous, though.
It's ridiculous.
Just watch it. If you're a viewer like myself who doesn't prefer the massive ecchi in anime, give this show a go, because the ecchi... It is the show, but at the same time, there's so much more to this show. Mm-hmm. And it's a sports anime, so the entertainment of it is going to keep you wanting to watch more episodes. So just, give it a try. If you don't like it, you don't. Closing this list off pretty strong, we have Scorching Ping Pong Girls.
Yo.
And there's another sports anime.
Another sports anime. I gotta say, watching this show, the first minute just grabbed me. I was like...
Oh, yeah. The first minute was absolutely ridiculous because you just jump right into a very intense ping pong match. And you're like, okay, this is a ping pong anime.
Yeah.
If you didn't read the title, this is a ping pong anime. But
the way that match ends, you're like, oh my god.
They went ham in the ping pong anime. At the same time, though, this is a shoujo.
This is a shoujo sports anime. Yeah. And for people who don't like shoujo anime, this has all of the tropes you would see in a shoujo anime. Mm-hmm. You got the cutesy characters, you got the moe characters, you have the gathering at lunch and talking about regular stuff. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when the ping pong comes in, which is a majority of the episode, mm-hmm. it goes ham on the ping pong.
Yes.
They're like, no, we're going to nationals. We're getting there. And it's really well animated. You have great character types. You have the analytical type. You have the smash. It's great. It's mm-hmm. well executed. I can't say more about it. It's awesome. Watch it.
Alright guys, so that's going to do it for this episode of Let's Talk Anime, the good anime from the fall 2016 anime season.
Go ahead and give us a like if you liked the video. Give us a thumbs down if you didn't. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know, what are you watching from this season that you think is pretty good? Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It helps out the show and you get updates to all our videos. And of course, share this out with your friends so that they can see the good anime from the fall 2016 season. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Let's Talk Anime.
You became trapped in a video game or what seemed like a typical day of gameplay. You were swinging your blade, suddenly driven insane by the fact that you couldn't log off. You and 10,000 other players all shocked. And everybody's jaw dropped at the thought of having to clear 100 floors before it all stopped.